2024 is almost over, and that means it's time to round up the 5 best watches I've seen this year. Kicking off at number 5 with a budget choice, this is the Mr. Jones Watches Blueberry Late. This one followed on from the initial Berry Late Again model and reads, "F it, time is just a social construct every hour as the dial aligns." We love Mr. Jones watches here, and this is one of my personal favourites. It's so Instagrammable and just a great representation of what the brand is all about. Top marks. At number 4, we've got the A. Lange & Söhne Datograph Lumen. Now this was the model that they unveiled at Watches and Wonders this year, and I can't help but feel like the massive, like 5-meter tall watch they had, about the same size as me, probably helped, but these things are just stunning. Lange make some of the best movements in the world, bar none. This is a perfect example of that. Pretty much unobtainium, but for a reason. In at number 3, we are returning to a brand we absolutely love here at T3. It's Christopher Ward, and they had so many watches which could have been in this list. I've narrowed it down to one, and for me, the pick of the year was their Lumiere dive watch. It's one of the first examples from Christopher Ward that I've seen that I think actually goes that other step above, putting them on the same peg as something like a Tudor and Orkane, those sort of £3,000–4,000 brands, and it's under £2,000. It's absolutely stunning, and there's a reason why it's so popular. At number 2, I've got a slightly contentious one for you, because technically it was released towards the end of 2023. I didn't see it till 2024, so I'm allowing it. This is the Nomos Club Sport Neomatic. Specifically the 39mm model. I had it in April this year, and honestly, that watch has lived rent-free in my head ever since. It is sublime. Fantastic specs. It's water resistant like a dive watch. You've got a movement in the back that is decorated like something from Lange or Patek. Maybe not quite that far, but it's a really lovely looking movement. In-house as well. And all of that for like, I think it's about £3,000-ish in the UK. Stunning. One of the best examples of value for money in modern watchmaking. That leads us to number 1, which is another Watches and Wonders release. It was one that I think went under the radar a little bit actually. The Gerald Charles Masterlink. For those of you who don't know Gerald Charles, it was the last company where Gerald Genta was making designs before he sadly passed away, and basically was just him kind of letting his creative freedom out after years of working with Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet and IWC and building some of the most iconic watches ever. The Masterlink is their first try at the integrated bracelet sports watch design which Genta pioneered. I think it's fantastic. They worked really hard to get the bracelet right because they have a signature case shape which is asymmetrical, so to make sure that it flowed around the bracelet itself took a lot of work, but it came out fantastic. It's super thin, the dial's amazing, the movement's beautiful. It deserves to sit next to your Royal Oak and your Nautilus, and that's why it's my number 1 watch of the year.